Hello, everyone, and welcome to Behind Prison Bars, Prison Pen Pals. In today's episode, we have Ashley Kaufman, and he wants to be your special pen pal. But before you decide if that's a good decision for your life, let's learn a little bit more about what he has been convicted of and how long he will be behind bars. So let's jump right in. Ashley has a profile on a online website for prisoners that connects them to members of the community for support and to share common interests and what those common interests may be. I'm not sure since they're behind bars, but in any case, he has prepared a profile. So let's read what he says here. So he says, "Hello. Hope everyone is doing good. I'm seeking serious pen pal relationships only. I'll be getting married here pretty soon, so nothing romantic, which is definitely a relief. I'm blessed with two wonderful people in my life right now and my daughter. Next year, I will be locked up 15 years straight. I love working out every day, reading good literature, and talking to my wife on the phone all day. I'm a Southern gentleman with a heavy Southern drawl. I believe in good characters, faith, values, and a conservative lifestyle, old world views, and God comes first, and then family. Please listen carefully right here. We will have tablets soon. But for now, always remember that if you send me an email, you will need to include a return address or P.O. box, or I will not be able to reply to you. And now to some important demographic details that Ashley wants you to know. He was born on February 18th. Happy belated birthday to Ashley. He's a male, he's single, he's straight, he's white, he has blonde hair and green eyes, he's athletic, and he is from Alabama. Oh, and we can't forget he's Christian because that's going to come into play here when we discuss his what he was found guilty of. But before we look at his crime, let's take a quick look at all of the tattoos that AK alias Crazy K has, because the court is showing that he has a lock and load, a chain on the left side of his face, some lightning bolts, an Aryan circle. Looks like he has a swastika, a skull inside tribal tattoo, the word outlaw, a star and skulls, a mama tried hourglass, no limit clown, a spider web, two dice and yin yang and yeah, cash, and he got all kind of crazy insane tattoos on him. So before you pick up that pen and sign your John Hancock or Jan Hancock signature with a letter over to Ashley, let's take a look at what he has actually been found guilty of before a court of law. He has been found guilty of criminal conspiracy, being in possession of a controlled substance, fraud, drug paraphernalia, filing a false report, being a habitual offender, kidnapping, battery in the first degree, habitual offender, battery in the second degree, a habitual offender, and the one that takes the cake, murder in the first degree with a life sentence. This is Ashley's victim, who he killed while behind bars. His name was Gary Wolf, and he was charged with second degree sexual assault. The relevant facts are these. On September 16, 2010, Kaufman lured Gary Wolf, a fellow inmate at the Sebastian County Detention Center, to his cell, where he strangled him and tied a plastic bag over his head, once convinced he was dead. Efforts to revive Wolf were unsuccessful. Kaufman was tried before a jury on April 18, 2012. At trial, detention officers Brian McGrew and Jason Morez testified about discovering Wolf dead in his bunk with a plastic bag tied over his head and hearing Kaufman admit to McGrew that he had committed the crime. 3 other employees of the Sebastian County Detention Center also testified to seeing Wolf in that condition. One of them, the jail administrator, also testified that he heard Kaufman say, "I've got my name all over that," or "My name is all over that." The bag over Wolf's head, as well as Wolf's arms, had writing on them with a Sharpie marker. The writing on Wolf's left arm said, "May God bless," and the initials AK. The writing on his right arm was AK again. The writing on the bag that had been on Wolf's head said, God bless, and AK. The coroner determined that the cause of death was asphyxiation and the manner of death was homicide. Kaufman had the nerve to say that he thought God wanted him to do it. And it would become clear to him that Wolf was the one that he was supposed to kill while he was throwing his milk away in a trash can. Kaufman stated that while throwing his milk in the trash can, he took note of the plastic bag and saw suffocation. Kaufman then took the trash bag out of the garbage can to unalive Wolf. Wolf was housed in a cell next to Kaufman, and before unaliving him, Kaufman asked Wolf to come over to his cell. The doors of the cell had been open. When Wolf came to Kaufman's cell, Kaufman got him in a chokehold. Kaufman told the officers that it took a long time to suffocate Wolf that day. He also stated that he placed the plastic bag over Wolf's head in case Wolf was not unalived. At trial, Kaufman asserted the defense of not guilty by reason of insanity. Two expert witnesses testified at trial on behalf of Kaufman to support his affirmative defense. The state also offered the testimony of an expert witness who said that Kaufman did not suffer from a mental disease or defect. Ultimately, the jury rejected Kaufman's defense and, at the end of the trial, found Kaufman guilty of murder in the first degree. Kaufman was then sentenced to a term of life in prison. On appeal, he challenged the sufficiency of the evidence and the circuit court's failure to direct a verdict of acquittal on the grounds of mental disease or defect. Ultimately, that appeal was rejected. So what has Kaufman been up to since being found guilty? Well, let's look back to 2016 here. He's been found guilty with threats to inflict injury, destruction of property, failure to obey orders, threats to inflict injury, failure to keep one's persons or quarters, possession and manufacture of contraband, escape, destruction of property, out of place assignment, insolence to a staff member, battery, failure to obey order, aggravated battery, and the list goes on and on and on. Since it's available, let's look at some of his program achievements while behind bars. He has received his GED, anger management. Wow, I wonder what happened to that after all those charges he got years after. Oh, substance abuse. Didn't he have controlled paraphernalia? Anger management and thinking errors group. So this, my friends, is Ashley Kaufman. That's what he's done. That's what he's been found guilty of. That's why he's spending the rest of his life in prison. And that's what he's not going to tell you as you consider if you're going to be writing to him as a pen pal or not. If you like my content, please subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more in the